So the Minnesota Timberwolves have been one of the most disappointing franchises in NBA history, going all the way back to the Kevin Garnett days and before. While KG and the crew had some success with him winning an MVP, it never led to actually much winning. They had some good seasons, but they can never really get past the Lakers, the Spurs, the Kings, teams of that nature. So after years of carrying the franchise, KG decided to skip town. Fast forward another couple years, the Timberwolves decided to take another Kevin in the first round, as they took Kevin Love, one of the best stretch bigs of all time, and one of the most forgotten about primes of all time, I would say, with him mostly being remembered for his championship contributions for the Cleveland Cavaliers team, but not much winning happened in Minnesota. So that leads us to today, and there's no place else to start than besides Anthony Edwards, who the sky's the limit on his potential, and he could be one of the top 5 players in the league. Next, we have the veteran presence of Mike Conley, who was an acquisition for the Wolves last year, and he played really well for them, but he's getting older, so he's probably not the long-term solution at the point guard spot for us. Then we have Jaden McDaniels, who's already one of the best young 3-and-D players in the whole NBA, with his athleticism, his length, his versatility, and his great defensive instincts, adding up to him being a great defensive threat, with his offensive game getting better every season. Then there's everyone's favorite player, Rudy Gobert. While he might not be, the most flashy player in the league or not have a great offensive game, he's still really good on the defensive end, and he's making a ton of money, so we have to keep him around. Then there's Naz Reid, who just got paid this offseason and is one of the best stretch bigs in the whole NBA. I really like him. Then there's Kyle Anderson, who's a sort of Swiss Army knife for us, with him being one of the best defensive players in the league, one of the best on-ball defenders. He consistently gets a lot of steals, but the big right with him is his jump shot, with it being pretty hideous, honestly, and him not being that great at shooting open threes. Then there's Shake Milton, who I think was one of the most underrated pickups in the offseason for any NBA team overall. I kind of compare him to Mike Conley because he could do a bit of everything. He's a master of none, but he's good at everything. Then there's 3-and-D guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Troy Brown Jr., who can help us, but they're probably not long-term solutions for us. And as you probably noticed on the thumbnail, the man of the hour, Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, while Towns may be one of the most offensively skilled big mans, honestly, of all time, it doesn't seem like he has a real good fit on this team for us. With him having constant injury concerns and him not being great defensively and us having to play him at the 4 because we have Rudy Gobert, it's pretty difficult for him to keep that spot on this roster long term. And I feel like we could get some great value for him. So let's see some trade packages that we could potentially make. One of the more popular ones is Cat to the Knicks for RJ Barrett and maybe some draft compensation. While I do believe RJ Barrett still has some potential as a shot creator, I don't think that he'll ever be as good as Cat is, and we would have to take on Mitchell Robinson's contract for salary filler to make the trade work out, but it's interesting. Then there's the idea of pairing up Cat with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray in Atlanta in exchange for DeAndre Hunter and some future draft compensation, maybe even Sadiq Bey, but I think Atlanta probably wants to keep on him. But DeAndre Hunter's a pretty good 3-and-D player, but he can be kind of inconsistent. And then there's the San Antonio Spurs. This one might be the most far-fetched one, but the idea of the Spurs, wanting to get Wemby immediate help in the front court, and we could probably get some really good young pieces in return, like Jeremy Sohan, who can be a really good all-around 4 for us, and Keldon Johnson, who actually averaged 22 points a game last year on pretty good efficiency. And be sure to let me know your guys' ideas and thoughts of a potential Cat trade package in the comment section below.